Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. I'm Utsaf Parekh and I'll take you through the top 50 stories of the day. Let's begin. A Ukrainian official has said that Russian forces have launched missile strikes in Mykolaiv. A shopping mall and several residential high-rise buildings have been hit. Mykolaiv is a shipbuilding center and a port. It had a population of about 470,000 people before the war. The city has suffered heavy bombardments ever since Russia launched its full-scale invasion. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has confirmed that the Quad summit scheduled for next week has been cancelled. This comes after US President Joe Biden pulled out of his planned visit to Australia. Biden cancelled his trip due to the crisis over the US debt ceiling. Now, the Quad nations are likely to have a sideline meeting at the G7 summit. The G7 summit will take place in Japan's Hiroshima this weekend. Russia's Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak is visiting Iran. He's also in charge of Russia's energy diplomacy. He emphasized the benefits of more cooperation in the oil and gas sectors. Russia and Iran have been forming closer ties. This is to support their economies and to undermine Western sanctions. European leaders are meeting in Iceland. They aim to create a quote-unquote register of damages. This is to record the wartime harm and destruction done by Russia in Ukraine. This comes a year after Russia was dropped from the Council of Europe over its war in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukraine has said that the Russian forces are pushing deeper inside the town of Bakhmut. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has defended India's decision to buy Russian oil. This was in response to a call by EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell for action against Indian refined products from Russian crude. Jaishankar advised Borrell to refer to EU Council regulations. The rules recognize that Russian crude undergoes substantial transformation in a third country and is no longer treated as Russian. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in South Korea. He addressed the country's parliament. Trudeau said that Canada is ready to partner with South Korea on critical minerals and clean energy projects. He added that Canada is committed to increase military engagement. Trudeau also urged North Korea to abandon its weapons program and reopen denuclearization talks. Meanwhile, in North Korea, Kim Jong-un inspected a military satellite station. He was accompanied by his daughter. The Non-Permanent Satellite Launching Preparatory Committee has been tasked to launching North Korea's first military intelligence satellite. According to the country's local media, Kim said that successful launch of the military reconnaissance satellite is an urgent requirement. Former UK Prime Minister Liz Truss is in Taiwan. She delivered a keynote speech in Taipei. She said that three nations must commit themselves to a free Taiwan. She called for a quote-unquote economic NATO to tackle Beijing's growing authoritarianism. Truss said she had come to show support for the island nation. She added that Taiwan is on the front line of the global battle for freedom. In Pakistan, former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been granted bail in more corruption and terrorism cases. Khan continues to allege that the country's military plans to arrest him again. His lawyers allege that several quote-unquote secret cases had been filed against Khan. Meanwhile, Pakistan's National Accountability Bureau has summoned Khan in the Al Qadir Trust case on Thursday. In Senegal, 3 people have died as protests turned violent. Clashes broke out between the police and supporters of opposition leader Ousmane Sonko. Protesters hurled stones at police and they responded with tear gas. In the capital Dakar, around 20 vehicles were set on fire. The protests come as Sonko is scheduled to appear in court. He's facing trial for the alleged rape of an employee at a beauty salon. In Australia, a 49-year-old truck driver has been charged for colliding his vehicle with a school bus in Melbourne. 18 children have been hospitalized as they suffered serious injuries. Some will require limb amputations. The school bus was carrying 45 students. It overturned after being hit by the truck. In New Zealand, police have said they're treating the hostel fire incident as arson. A homicide inquiry has been opened in the case. The fire broke out on the top floor of a hostel located in the suburb of Wellington. At least 6 people were killed. The fire also caused major structural damage that hampered recovery efforts. Fires in Canada's Alberta province have scorched over 616,000 hectares of land in the last 2 days. According to Alberta officials, 24 out of the 86 wildfires are completely out of control. Almost 2,500 firefighters have been deployed to control the flames. Additionally, Canada's military has been roped in to reinforce the firefighters. Meanwhile, local authorities have put out a call for more volunteers. Canada's wildfires are spreading towards urban centres. Residents in Calgary woke up to a city covered in thick smoke. Smoke from the Alberta wildfires covered Calgary's skyline as visibility dropped drastically. Calgary received a special weather alert warning residents of poor air quality. Shifting wind directions have elevated the risk of the fires moving closer to cities like Calgary. Italy's northeastern regions were battered by torrential rain yesterday. The region received heavy downpours after months of drought. Incessant rainfall caused flash floods in the Emilia-Romagna and Marche regions. Parts of Cesena city were submerged under muddy waters after the Savio River overflowed. According to officials, 10 people were evacuated from their houses after a mudslide. Protesters marched in Japan's capital, Tokyo, yesterday. Demonstrators oppose the planned release of treated radioactive water from the Fukushima nuclear plant. The water was used to cool the reactors at Fukushima. The plant was wrecked by an earthquake and tsunami in 2011. The Japanese government has said that releasing the water is now safe. However, the water contains traces of tritium. Officials say Fukushima's tanks are at full capacity and water has to be released so that reconstruction work can begin. Uruguay is experiencing its worst water deficit in 74 years. It has been triggered by a 3-year drought. The drought has led to the salination of drinking water as freshwater levels have dropped. In response, the government has promised to ensure the supply of clean drinking water. The government has proposed to build a water reservoir in the coming weeks to store clean drinking water. Meanwhile, authorities have subsidized bottled water in the capital, Montevideo, and its neighboring regions. The French government plans to allocate $540 million annually for a new tax credit. The tax credit will be for environmental-friendly investments that are made in the green energy and industrial sectors. Tax deductions will cover the capital expenditures of companies on 25 to 40% of their investments in wind and solar projects. In Germany, Greenpeace and an agricultural group brought some unusual guests as part of a protest. The two groups brought a herd of cows to graze in the lawns of the German parliament. This was part of a demonstration regarding the reduction in access to pasture land for cows. According to Greenpeace, access to pasture grounds for cattle has reduced from 42 to 31% in the last decade. Argentine biologists rescued a sea lion that had plastic waste tangled around his neck. The rescued animal suffered neck wounds as the plastic strap was found around its neck folds. Biologists were able to remove the plastic and treat the sea lion for anemia. The sea lion will stay at a care facility until it fully recovers. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has delivered a historic testimony at the US Congress on the future of artificial intelligence. He said that AI poses potential risks to humanity. He also called the use of AI to interfere with election integrity a significant area of concern. Altman said that AI should be regulated either by the US government or a global agency. He called for new restrictions on big tech companies. Remember, OpenAI is the company that developed the chatbot ChatGPT. US senators grilled the former chief executive of Silicon Valley Bank, Greg Becker, for the first time. Becker said he was unaware that the US lender was in trouble when he had sold his stocks. He painted a picture of an unprecedented and unforeseeable crisis. He reiterated that the trouble unfolded at lightning speed despite the bank's risk management measures. Silicon Valley Bank had shut down on March 10th. This was after depositors withdrew $42 billion in 24 hours. Two more US regional lenders had failed since then. The former chief executive of First Republic Bank, Michael Roffler, has spoken on the bank's collapse. He said that regulators did not express concerns regarding the bank's strategy, liquidity, or management performance. Roffler also said, and I quote, "We could not have anticipated that Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank would fall." First Republic Bank shut down on May 1st. Its assets were sold to JP Morgan Chase. The deal was struck in a bid to resolve what has been seen as the largest US bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis. Lender UBS was rushed into buying rival Credit Suisse in a deal that it did not want. This is according to a regulatory filing. UBS has said that it had less than 4 days to conduct due diligence given the quote-unquote emergency circumstances. The filing also showed that UBS and Credit Suisse signed a confidentiality agreement. After that, UBS has begun the due diligence. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon has said that it's unlikely that the bank will acquire any other struggling lenders. The statement comes weeks after the bank acquired the failed First Republic Bank. Dimon reiterated his faith in the financial soundness of the regional banking system. He said that regulators could not have evaded the risks that led to the wipeout of 3 US banks. First Republic Bank was the third major US institution that failed in 2 months. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has said that the global economy will struggle for the next 12 months. He also warned that his company is not immune to the global economy. Musk said that Tesla would try to advertise its vehicle, something the company has never done before. Earlier this year, Tesla had aggressively cut vehicle prices. The move came in the face of a slowing economy and rising competition. The company missed its margin for the first quarter this year. Bankrupt satellite launch company Virgin Orbit has struck a quote-unquote stalking horse agreement with Stratolaunch. Stratolaunch is an American aerospace company that provides high-speed flight test services. Through this deal, Virgin Orbit will sell its aircraft assets for $17 million in cash. This includes the Cosmic Girl carrier aircraft. A stalking horse bid is a starting bid or a minimally accepted offer. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has planned to meet top executives from global semiconductor companies. Japan's chief cabinet secretary has said, and I quote, "The resilience of the semiconductor supply chain cannot be achieved by a single country. The meeting will come at a crucial time. The United States has been urging its allies to work together to counter China's semiconductor dominance." The US has charged a former Apple engineer. He's accused of stealing the company's technology and then fleeing to China. The engineer is identified as 35-year-old Weibao Wang. He was hired by Apple in 2016. In 2017, he took up a US-based job with a Chinese company working to develop self-driving cars. On his last day at Apple, the company saw that he had accessed proprietary data. In June 2018, federal agents searched the man's house and found large quantities of data from Apple. The European Union has given its final nod to the world's first comprehensive set of rules and regulations to deal with crypto assets. The regulations are likely to be rolled out from 2024. Under the new rules, firms would be required to obtain a license for issuing, trading, and safeguarding crypto assets, tokenized assets, and stablecoins. The aim is to combat tax evasion and the use of cryptocurrency assets for money laundering. The move is likely to build pressure on Britain and the US to take similar steps. Now to sports. Lucknow Super Giants beat Mumbai Indians in a nail-biting IPL match yesterday. The match was played at Lucknow's Ekana Sports City. Marcus Stoinis smashed an unbeaten 89 to power Lucknow to 177 runs in 20 overs. Mumbai's Ishan Kishan scored 59 as the visitors fell short by just 5 runs in the last over. Stoinis was awarded the Man of the Match award for his impressive knock. The International Cricket Council has scrapped the soft signal rule from the upcoming World Test Championship final. The soft signal is when on-field umpires refer catches to the third umpire while giving a signal suggesting their own decision. The gesture has drawn flack from players and fans as it causes confusion regarding the verdict. The soft signal was abolished from the IPL 2 years ago and is expected to become obsolete from other formats as well. In football, Inter Milan beat AC Milan 1-0 in the second leg of the UEFA Champions League semi-final. Lautaro Martinez scored the winning goal in the 74th minute to secure Inter's win. They secured an aggregate 3-0 win over rivals AC Milan, having scored 2 goals in their first leg. Inter will play against either Manchester City or Real Madrid in the Champions League final. And some heartfelt news for football fans. Mexican midfielder Andres Guardado announced his retirement from international football. Guardado's career lasted 18 years after making his debut in 2005. He represented Mexico in 5 World Cups and is the country's most capped player with 181 appearances. His final match was against Argentina at last year's World Cup, where he also served as captain for the last time. In tennis, Novak Djokovic beat Cameron Norrie in a tense match to advance to the Italian Open quarterfinals. Djokovic made a slow start but fired up as he beat Norrie 6-3, 6-4 in straight sets. Serbia's Djokovic will next face Danish player Holger Rune in the next round in Rome. Iga Świątek stormed into the quarterfinals after winning yesterday's match at the Italian Open. Świątek beat Donna Vekic 6-3, 6-4 to continue her dominant streak in Rome. Poland's Świątek will face Kazakhstan's Elena Rybakina in the next round. In badminton, India were knocked out of the Sudirman Cup despite a 4-1 win over Australia. The tournament is being played in China. Earlier, India lost 1-4 and 0-5 to Chinese Taipei and Malaysia respectively. India were knocked out of the tournament after failing to secure enough points in their group. In golf, Aditi Ashok has made history as she became the first Indian woman to break into the top 50 global rankings. Ashok reached the milestone after a tied finish at the 5th spot in the LGPA Founders Cup in New Jersey. After yesterday's finish, she jumped 15 spots to secure the 49th world rank. The next best-placed Indian after Ashok is Diksha Dagar, who is currently ranked 416th. In basketball, Denver Nuggets beat Los Angeles Lakers in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Hosts Nuggets beat Lakers 132-126 in a late charge. Denver center Nikola Jokic hit a triple-double with 34 points, 14 assists and 21 rebounds. Meanwhile, Laker Anthony Davis was the game's highest scorer with 40 points. In mountaineering, a Nepali Sherpa has set a new world record for scaling Mount Everest 27 times. Nepal's Kami Rita Sherpa summited Everest yesterday for the 27th time, breaking his own record. Rita Sherpa first scaled Everest in 1994. He has climbed the peak every year since then, except 2014, 2015 and 2020. Dominican sci-fi film Aire has won the inaugural Fantastic Latido Award at the Cannes Film Market. The film was selected from over 50 films from countries like Chile, Mexico and Argentina. The award offers international sales representation for the winning film. Aire is set in a dystopian future where the human race has been made extinct by pollution and disease. True crime thriller film Boneyard is headed to the Cannes Film Market. Boneyard is being launched for sales at one of the largest film markets on the sidebar of the Cannes Film Festival. The film is currently under production. It stars Mel Gibson and the rapper 50 Cent. The Cannes Film Festival's market is breaking accreditation records. The registrations are still on, but organizers are expecting over 13,500 accredited participants. This year, the Cannes Film Market has more than 510 exhibitors, 300 sales companies, and over 1,200 market screenings. The market will run till the 24th of May. Actor and Duchess of Sussex Meghan Markle has been honored at the Women of Vision Awards in New York. She received the award for her lifelong advocacy of women and girls. Markle was accompanied by her husband, Prince Harry. Social media star KB Lame is set to show his directorial debut at the Taormina Film Festival. Lame is currently working on his first short film. He will present his film under the influential shorts segment of the festival. The festival will take place between the 24th of June and the 1st of July in Italy. Indian exhibitor PVR Inox is launching a new motion pictures division called PVR Inox Pictures. The division will seek to ramp up acquisitions of international content for India. A company statement read that it plans to streamline high-quality content for the Indian market. Actor Tom Hanks has spoken about the potential of AI. Hanks is of the opinion that with AI, death would no longer be the end of an actor's career. He added that anybody can now recreate themselves at any age. The 66-year-old actor also spoke about the artistic and legal challenges posed by the potential misuse of AI technology. Director Martin Scorsese is being sued for allegedly reneging on a $1 million production deal. A UK-based production company has alleged that Scorsese accepted a $500,000 initial payment to make a World War II film, but didn't begin any work. The company has alleged breach of contract and is now seeking punitive damages. Reality television franchise The Bachelor has announced its first ever senior citizen season. The new season is called The Golden Bachelor. A statement from the makers said that it was a new kind of love story for the golden years. The show will release this fall. The 50th annual Daytime Emmy Awards have been postponed due to the Writers Guild of America strike. The awards were scheduled to take place on the 16th of June in Los Angeles. A new date for the ceremony has not been announced yet. Earlier, other award shows have been affected by the WGA strike. They are the Peabody Awards and the Tony Awards. That's a wrap for today's episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.